Hey, it's Alex here, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about moving to Toronto. So whether you're already in Ontario, or maybe you're within Canada, or maybe you're moving to Toronto from somewhere internationally, this video explains different things you need to consider and things you need to do when you're moving here. Okay, let's get into it. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Alex. I'm a real estate broker here in Toronto. Now I know I don't sound Canadian, but I actually am. I was actually born in Vancouver. My family moved to England when I was around 5 years old, so I grew up in England, hence the accent. I have picked up some of the Canadian twang on my accent, so I do sound a little bit weird to my friends back in England now. But I moved to Toronto in '99. I studied accounting and finance, was my undergrad, and I have a postgrad master's in information technology. So I moved back to Toronto 2 or 3 weeks after I finished my postgrad degree. I have an aunt who's been in Toronto for many years, so I did visit here a few times when I was studying. Like the city, like Toronto. I just want to make a note that was in the summertime, so I had only experienced the summers when I was visiting, and then I moved here at the end of '99. My first winter was a bit of a shock, and I'm going to talk about that later in the video in terms of the weather and the climate here. I thought I'd move here, check it out. If I didn't like it, I could always try Vancouver or somewhere else, but I ended up staying in Toronto, and here I am 20 years later. We've got lots of people from all over the world here in Toronto. It's a very diverse, very multicultural city. So wherever you're from, there's going to be people from there already here or very close to the Toronto area. So let's get into the details and let's go. So the number one thing you got to do if you're moving to Toronto, first thing on the list is to call me. If you're going to be buying a condo, buying a house, contact me. My information is below. Call me, text me, email me. I'd love to be able to help you find a new house or a new condo when you do move here. So if you are going to be moving to Toronto and you're going to be buying a property and you want to do a bit of research in terms of different neighborhoods, different prices, the types of product that we have here. If you're looking for a condo, you can check out this website. And if you're looking for a house, you can check out this website. Good luck with your search. Maybe you're moving to Toronto for a job transfer or relocation or a short-term contract. I've dealt with many clients from overseas who are here for a year or two on contract, and they need a high-end luxury rental for that year or two they're not considering buying. I also do that as well. So give me a call or get in touch and I can help you with that. Number 2 on the list when you're moving to Toronto is considering the neighborhood or the location that you want to live in. Now for different people, they want different things. So it's all going to depend on you and your lifestyle and what's important to you. So typically when I work with a client, I look at the different factors that they have in terms of their commute to work, the type of lifestyle, whether they're single, whether they're married, or if they're married and they have kids. Location to the school will obviously be important. If you're single, you don't have to deal with shoveling snow in the winter time or deal with that maintenance of a house. Maybe you want to be in a condo where the action is downtown central Toronto, have a short commute to work if you're downtown living in the core. If you work in the banks or the financial sector, all the companies are going to be downtown, obviously in the financial district area. So to get downtown, if you live up in Yorkville or Yonge and Sheppard, for example, wouldn't be too much of a long commute. Or King West, Liberty Village, St. Lawrence Market, those are walkable distances or a quick streetcar ride or cab ride or even a bike ride in the summertime. So another factor you may want to consider when you're looking at different neighborhoods or locations for you to live is maybe if you have friends or family in that particular neighborhood. If you're a single professional downtown, maybe you want to be close to work, but you want to be close to restaurants, bars, clubs, the sports venues, and all the entertainment that you have downtown. That could be a different factor. If you're a family, maybe you want to be near your other family members in a certain neighborhood or friends who already have kids as well. So number 3 on the list for me is just get to know people. So if you're new here, you're studying, you're going to have new classmates. Best way to get to know people that way, go out, be social. If you're here for work, you're also going to be meeting people at your new job. The best way to meet people is just through different things that you're interested in, through hobbies and interests. Whether that's, going to the gym. I play basketball, so I try different runs, met a bunch of cool people that way. If you're religious, you go to church. Obviously, you meet people at the church. Bunch of different things that you can do in terms of just getting out there, being social, meeting people. Especially with today's technology, if you go onto any social media sites or look up different events that Toronto has, Facebook events, for example, Google events nowadays, go to different events and shows and things that are going to interest you, where you can meet similar people. In Toronto, for example, we have tons of annual events. There's marathons, 2 or 3 marathons every summer in the downtown area. There's the Caravana event, it's North America's largest Afro-Caribbean festival that we have with a great parade. There's the Indie that we have. There's so many different events that I can't even mention. It's so many to mention. But yeah, just get out there, be social, meet people. We also have things like Fashion Week here in Toronto. We have the Toronto International Film Festival in September every year, which is huge. Got a lot of the celebrities coming here. So if you're into movies, documentaries, celebrities, that's always a big event, early September. If you're a big foodie, in wintertime and the summertime, we have Winterlicious and Summerlicious. So a lot of restaurants will have special menus, usually like an entree, a main course, and a dessert at a special price for that short period within the wintertime or the summertime. So get out there, try different restaurants. There's so many different places to try it. So there's a ton of different ways. The best thing and the best way to experience Toronto is just get out there, be sociable. Most people are pretty friendly here, I find. So just get out there and extrovert yourself a little bit. Number 4 is the jobs and the job opportunities here in Toronto. The economy is doing very well. The economic growth is on the upward trend. There's a lot of immigration into the city, so the city is definitely developing and growing. There's a lot of jobs here, like I mentioned in my other video, living in Toronto. If you're in the banking or the financial sector, Toronto is the main hub in Canada. Like I said, it's already one of the largest cities in North America, the 3rd largest behind New York and LA. The other fields that are huge in Toronto are the information technology sector and also the medical field as well. If you just want to Google the top 100 employers in Toronto, you'll see some of the biggest companies in the world work out of Toronto. So they're always looking for good staff, good experience. Toronto is very extreme. It's very, very cold in the wintertime. Gets very hot and humid in the summertime. So the worst months are January, February, and March. I remember my first winter time here. It was goddamn cold. I've never experienced anything like it before. Now I'm from England, so it does get cold there, but it's more cloudy and dark and rainy and gloomy. That's why everybody's in the pub, because you just don't go outside. In Toronto, it can be minus 20 degrees, but it can be bright and sunny. So it doesn't really rain that much here, in my opinion. It can get very cold, like I said, but it's not usually grey and cloudy like a lot of other places. So it could be freezing, but at least it's bright and sunny. Just have to wrap up, put your shades on, and you'll be fine. But do a bit of research in terms of the weather months. Like I said, January, February, and March. In the summertime, it can be very hot and humid. So June, July, and August, the weather does start to turn very quickly. I've noticed, like in the end of the last week or 2 of August, in the evening, you can feel that temperature drop, coming a little bit cooler in the evening. So you can tell the end of summertime is coming. But September and October are very nice as well. Just be prepared if you're from somewhere warm and hot. The winter months can be a bit of a shock to people that are moving here and experiencing Toronto weather for the first time. So don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, the number 6 thing here is for people who are moving to Toronto that have a family or have children. Depending on when you're moving here, you could be looking at 3 months, 6 months, a year in advance, maybe, or even possibly longer than that. If you do have kids, I'd highly suggest doing a bit of research in terms of getting your kids into daycare or preschool, kindergarten, high school, whatever age your kids are at. So do your research if you do have children and you need to get them into a school. Sometimes there's very long waiting lists and you want to have several options available, especially the good schools are always obviously have a huge demand. So if you're not able to get your number 1 choice, make sure you have a second and third choice backup as well, unless you want to homeschool your kids. So another thing that I want to talk to you about is the traffic and your commute to work or to school if you're studying. Again, this is a factor you definitely want to consider. Toronto's getting busier and busier. I've been here 20 years now and it's changed a lot in that period of time. There's a lot more traffic on the road. There's a lot more people. The city has not really built any more subways downtown, at least. They're building some other things kind of more midtown, the LRT along Eglinton, for example. So depending on where you live and where you work, you've got to factor in your commute times. If you're a downtown young professional, you probably want to live somewhere central, so you're not going to have a long commute from home to work. If you live out in the suburbs in Mississauga or Oakville, Ajax, Pickering, or Markham, Thornhill up north, maybe better to take a train as opposed to driving. So definitely look at your commute times. Traffic is very busy, but especially on the highways, on the QEW and the 404 DVP highway in the mornings, in the afternoons from 4 till, I would say even 3 till 7 p.m. You know, you want to minimize your commute as much as possible. So being closer to work may be a factor that you want to consider. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you do have any questions, hit me up in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notifications so you can get notified when my next video comes out, and I'll catch you in the next one.